Happy Sunday, friends. July 12th. Can you believe we missed 7-Eleven yesterday? No Slurpees, no 7-Elevens open for that, but we really needed it because check out these temperatures. 104 degrees yesterday in Sacramento with 105 and 106 from Marysville to Oroville. We're averaging about 105 degrees in the valley through the weekend because Sunday could be even hotter. We're talking 1 to even 2 degrees warmer than yesterday's temps, where we'll be around 105 degrees in Sacramento for your Sunday. We will see a cool down though that will happen as we start moving into Monday. So here's what we can expect with our weather headlines. We are looking at hotter temperatures for today, possible, but the Tahoe area is still seeing somewhat of a red flag warning. Now, although the red flag warning itself isn't within the city or the city limits, it's just over the Nevada state line. So very similar conditions are going to be on both sides. We're going to have dry grass, low humidity, and the winds picking up this afternoon, which could all create and spread fires rapidly. Now, the cool down does come on Monday, so I'm talking as much as a 10-degree cool down. I'll explain why in just a second. Let's talk now about this red flag warning. The fire weather warning extends from Modoc County further north all the way into Nevada and down toward Reno, just barely touching upon areas of the High Sierra near Tahoe and South Lake Tahoe. Now, we still have the heat advisory in effect in the orange shade here right around Fresno. As far north as almost Turlock down toward Bakersfield, Mariposa, Merced counties as well till 8 p.m. on Monday. And then the excessive heat watch, that is in the dark maroon shade. That extends from Southern California toward the east and into Vegas, as well as seeing a red flag warning in Vegas too. A lot of hot temperatures as high as 109 to 111 degrees through those areas. So very hot desert-like conditions. But the winds are going to be the big problem this afternoon because those winds will pick up to about 20-25 miles per hour, especially through areas like the Delta and the High Sierra. In the morning hours, we are seeing calm winds, calm to light, anywhere from about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And it's not going to do too much for us until we get to the afternoon. That's where we see the 10 to 15 mile per hour winds by 6:30 p.m. and about 20 mile per hour winds in Fairfield. So the morning hours, we're actually going to be dealing with somewhat of bad air quality, unhealthy for those who have respiratory issues because the winds aren't picking up. There's no real mixing happening. So all the hot air just kind of in place. And when it does that, it just kind of makes it muggy, makes it harder to take deeper breaths. You don't get a lot of air mixing for yourself. So you're going to be dealing with that air quality throughout the day until we get to the evening hours where we finally start to see more air pushing through, making it a little easier to breathe and actually cool off a bit. But the dangers with the cool off is, hey, we get the winds, and the winds could spread those fires very quickly. So as we start moving into Monday morning, you notice at 5:30 a.m., we're still looking at about 5 to 10 mile per hour winds in the valley. They're not calm like we're seeing as of Sunday morning, early morning. But we're even seeing about 18-20 mile per hour winds in Fairfield at 5:30 a.m. So we don't really get the slowdown of the winds until we start getting to about Monday night, overnight hours into Tuesday. So we'll still see a little bit of the winds picking up throughout Monday. Not quite as windy though as we're seeing on Sunday. Here's why we're seeing everything happening. We have the two systems, of course, next to each other, which helps to create pressure gradient. When the pressure happens, creates more winds. The winds speed up. But here's where we see the cool down. You start to see the low pressure shifting its way toward the southeast. This starts to extend the tail end of that system south. The trough here, the jet stream, also starts to push itself south. That's going to bring the cold air into the Bay Area, Northern California. And hey, even just a slight dip in that still going to create as much as a 10-degree cool temperature as of Monday. So instead of being 105, we'll see about 95 degrees, which is going to be much nicer than 105. So here's what we're looking at the next 6 to 10 days out. The West Coast, we're going to be right around average. Average is the gray shade, right? And the orange peach is just slightly above average by 1-2 degrees. So we'll be slightly above average, but for the most part, average. Everything from central to eastern U.S., above average to well above average in the red shade. And then finally, the only spot below average is northern Idaho into northeastern Washington and areas also into Montana. So we are dealing with just a bit of those below average temperatures further north. And again, that has to do with the low pressure systems that's sticking around for that area. Okay, so the 10-degree drop starts on Monday, and there you see it there, about 96 degrees to upper 90. So we're slightly above. And then we get closer to average again Thursday and Friday. Check out the following weekend. Looks like we may still be back into triple digit heat. We're going to have to wait to see what happens in the atmosphere, whether or not we get another low pressure system that's going to come in, or whether the high is really going to dominate this week. It's really going to be closer to Wednesday, Thursday that we get that better idea. So we're going to have to wait and see how that weekend shapes up. So when you see a discrepancy kind of like that, it's where we're trying to figure out whether the low or the high is going to really dominate and why that's going to happen. We typically look as far out as areas of Japan to see what's happening there and how that will influence us about 5 days later on the West Coast. So looking at hot temperatures just for today, and then we'll see that cool down for the rest of the week.